Greetings. Welcome to the Real Talk Show. Woo! You made it. I'm so happy to see you all. Aren't you excited to be here? Listen, happy Thursday. Welcome to the best month of the year. That is the month of June. It is my birthday month, so I am going to celebrate. You guys know my birthday is this Saturday. So please make sure it is the best Saturday in the world for you because it is a fabulous day. I'm grateful for my parents for creating me, I guess. So with that said, it's also Juneteenth. Thank you to Alexander. Welcome, Alexander. And so with that said, this is a wonderful month, guys. We are in the summer. This is the time to celebrate. This is the time to enjoy each other. It's just a great month. How could you not love the month of June? There are so many great things going on. Speaking of that, I'm so excited because I have an awesome opportunity as well to be interviewed by the Global Trade Chamber on their phenomenal platform. You can visit 100swb.com to find out more information. I'll be getting interviewed, just asking about my life and success as a whole. I'm grateful to God for that, of course. So you can check that out. In addition, we also are launching our book on 100 successful women in business. And this is a global project. I'm so excited about this. That book will be launched by the end of June. So keep your eye out on that. I will definitely be giving you guys more plugs on that. Also, I'm going to let you guys know information. I told you about the Real Talk Show. Okay, the Real Talk Show is going to be aired on the WKDH SoulNet WKDH radio station every Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you're checking it out. Okay, visit www.soulnetwkdh.com, okay, to tune in. And they've got a really cool tune and everything there, so you'll love that. Also, if you're wanting to be featured on this fabulous show, make sure that you're sending me your photo and bio to india.white.123@gmail.com. Now, make sure you guys are following me on social media. I know you guys saw my post today with all the little cool stuff some of you did. Please follow me. I need your following. I need the connection. I need you. Okay. You need me. Let's do this. So my Facebook is Miss India White. LinkedIn is The India White. Twitter is Indie Speak and Teach. That's INDISPEAKNTEACH. Twitter is going to, or I just said Twitter. Instagram is Indie238, and my YouTube channel is India White 123. Now, also, we want to make sure that we are tuning in to Swain Girl Media Channel, who is also featuring the Real Talk Show. Thank you, Precious Swain, for this phenomenal platform and opportunity to be aired on TV through your awesome show. Also, make sure you're checking out the new website. My new website is www.india-white.com. I'm so grateful for my rockstar team that has put that together. You guys are fabulous. I tell you that. And so with that said, guys, I'm going to get out of the way because I wanted to come on the show today to bring on somebody who, when I went to her website, the first thing I thought was, wow, I should probably be one of her clients because she's that good. Okay. I am giving her a shout out because she is a rock star in her own right. She is a publicist. She has done so much. She's got a lot of phenomenal things up and coming that you definitely want to stay tuned in for. And so with that said, I'm going to introduce to this fantastic platform, a publicist, a producer, okay, and a serial entrepreneur, Miss Dove Bennett. Welcome to the platform. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
Oh my gosh, we are so happy to have you. So Dove, many people have not checked you out yet, but it's okay because this is your time to shine. Tell us who you are. Tell us about yourself.
Well, as you said, I am a publicist, a producer, and a serial entrepreneur. So I primarily work with clients who are business owners, entrepreneurs, authors. I work with media personalities, and I've recently kind of shifted over to the entertainment aspect, which was totally not expected, but I'm enjoying it. But PR is my heart. I love doing PR. I'm also a producer. I produce digital content online. I have a amazing talk show that's going to be coming out next year. It'll be about entrepreneurs. Yes. I'm also an author myself, so my memoir is coming out in a few months. That's also super exciting.
Congratulations!
Thank you. But all around, I mean, I'm excited. There's so much going on in the works. I'm getting to work with a lot of phenomenal people. I'm getting to network with a lot of phenomenal people, and I love it. That's the best part when you get to do something that you love every single day. You know, it's exciting and it makes you want to work even that much harder. But there's a lot of awesome things going on.
This is fantastic news. I'm so happy to just see you shining like this and to hear all of the great things you've got going on. I mean, you're an author, you've got producing, you're doing entertainment, you are unstoppable, and you are perfect for the Real Talk Show. So tell us, where are you from, Dove? We need to know.
So I am originally from Texas, born and raised. I was actually born in this little tiny town called Nacogdoches. But shortly after my family moved to Houston, I was raised in Houston up until I joined the military. When I joined the military, it took me to about 4 different states. So I got to go to New York, South Carolina. Where else did I go in the military? Georgia. Okay, so three different states. And then after leaving the military, I continued to kind of move around. So I've also lived in Charlotte, North Carolina. I have lived in West Bend, Wisconsin. I've lived in Los Angeles, California. I've lived in Hollywood, New York. I feel like I'm missing some on this list. I used to keep little keychains just to remind myself of where I wanted to go. But I've lived a lot of different places. But originally, I am from Texas. Texas is home, and Texas is where I always come back to. I love Texas.
Oh, wow. That's fantastic. You've traveled a lot. So,
I have.
So what branch of the military were you affiliated with?
The Army. I was in the Army.
Awesome. Thank you for your service to our country. We honor you. We respect that. I love honoring people that have served our country, soldiers, and thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I know those watching feel the same way. So I know you probably enjoy Memorial Day and maybe you reminisced or whatnot with that.
I probably should have, but I worked because I'm a little bit of a workaholic. So
Understood. So let's talk about the Army. So how did you evolve into this fantastic rock star, and you have this chapter in the Army? Talk to us about how that all evolved.
Well, so Army actually came first. I joined the Army when I was 18 years old. Before I literally did anything else. But I will say that it definitely helped to shape my character. It definitely shaped a bit of my character traits, my discipline, my work ethic, my willpower. I would say it definitely made me more cultural, more understanding. I definitely attribute a lot to the Army. But I didn't start my career until much later after getting out of the Army. I actually didn't start my career until 2019. After crazy story, in 2018, I spent 6 months homeless. I was living in a car with my children. It was a really hard time. But then I found a job, and I just knew that this job was going to be the beginning of a whole new start until 6 months later when I got laid off. And I was so afraid. I was so afraid that I was going to go back to being homeless. And that's when I started my career. So my career definitely came a few years after the Army, but I definitely believe that my years in the Army helped shape my career path.
Excellent. Wow. And how long were you able to serve in the Army for?
I was in for 3.5 years.
Okay, excellent, excellent. Again, thank you so much. And I think that's great how you overcame homelessness. And so what do you think your biggest fear was with that chapter, and how were you able to bounce back from overcoming homelessness?
My biggest fear then and still to this day is going back to that. That has always been, oh my gosh, that was definitely a PTSD moment for me. It was a scary, scary time, but I will say that my children kind of helped me get through that, as far as I knew that they deserved better and I wanted to give them better. So, with that, I kind of had no choice but to keep going and keep going and keep going. But through it, I found a good career, because before I was homeless, before I started my career, I had no idea what a publicist was. I didn't know what they did. I didn't know anything about it until I was laid off from my job and had no choice. That fear came back, that fear of being homeless again. And so I had no choice but to find something to do. I went into my vault of unfinished books, and I realized that because I couldn't afford a publicist, I would have to be my own publicist. And through promoting my own book, I found a career path that I absolutely love.
That is fantastic. Wow. I'm going to label you as a rock star. You earned it.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Wow. So you began to publish, or just become a publicist, and so talk to us about when you first got your first clients, and what all that looked like, and how this was like your purpose, and just you taking off. Talk to us about it.
Well, when I was first originally promoting myself, it was a lot easier than when I started taking on clients. So when I got my first client, I was ecstatic. I was super, super happy. But I made the mistake that most entrepreneurs make, and I went into business and I was grossly underpricing myself. So for my services, I was charging a couple hundred, and for a publicist, that's a really, really small amount. But I was like, I'm just starting out. I'm gonna get my foot in the door. That was probably the biggest mistake that I ever made, because I did not realize how much work goes into being a publicist. It is a lot of work. So I was stressing out all the time. I was like, I didn't have the issue with getting clients because I had been promoting myself for my books. And so people kind of saw me, and they were coming to me to take them on as clients. The issue is that I was doing a lot of work around the clock for so many people, because I had to take on so many clients because of the fact that I was charging so little. So then I'm like sitting there with a long list of clients, and I'm like, pulling my hair out. But it took years of me working in this industry to really get to where I am, to learn the things that I had to learn, and to overcome a lot of those issues that you get when you first step into being an entrepreneur. But I've been a full-time entrepreneur now for over 2.5 years. So
congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Tell me that again in 5, 10, 15, and 20 years. But I'm in it for
telling you now, you got to keep going, so I can tell you.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. But no, just starting out doing this for myself and for other clients, I realized I loved it. Learning what to do, being able to send out those emails and eagerly, wait to get those responses. And then to watch my clients when they are on TV, to watch my clients when they're in magazines, and to just watch their brands grow, just, it makes me happy. It really, really makes me happy. And that's what makes me keep wanting to go and to help other businesses so that they can get the awareness that they deserve.
Excellent. I love that. And I just feel it. I feel overjoyed, and I'm happy that you're doing what you're doing. And again, congratulations with your bouncing back from everything that you had to go through. And I know if you had a lesson that you wanted people to know from you being able to be homeless with children to now a publicist, very successful entrepreneur, serialpreneur. What advice would you give to someone that might see their situation as hopeless?
Well, for starters, I would say it's never hopeless. We are surrounded by opportunities. We just have to look for them. And even in those moments where you feel like you can't find them, no matter where we look, we always have the opportunity to create our own opportunities. Reach out to anybody, even just for a brainstorming session. If you are in a situation and you have no idea what to do, knowledge is power. If you are lacking any information, somebody else out there has it, and you can learn from anybody. It doesn't have to be someone who's super successful. It doesn't have to be someone who's been doing something for a very long time. You literally can learn anything from anybody. You can take one piece of information and do something with it. So if you're ever in a situation where you're feeling like things are hopeless and you have no idea where to go to next, reach out to just one person, even one person, and simply have a conversation. But always keep in mind that when you keep going, when you're consistent, when you keep showing up for yourself time and time again, success will be its own reward. You will find a way if you simply keep going. And that really is the truth. You learn from your mistakes every single day. I said you can learn from anybody. That includes yourself. The more you do, the more you will learn. The more you keep going, the more you're going to get closer and closer to where it is you want to be, as long as you just don't stop. If you stop, of course, you're not going to get any further. You're going to be stuck in that spot. So my advice is to definitely keep going, and talk to people, talk to anybody about your dreams, about what you want, because you really can learn. Even if they give you one simple piece of information, it gets you one step closer to where it is you want to go.
That's excellent advice. And I would say too, there's a couple things about what you just said. You said share your dreams, like talk to people about your dreams. And I would say yes, but I would put a condition on it. The condition I would put on it is make sure that you can trust those people. Right. Because I've had situations where I've shared different dreams and literally my dream was launched the next week without me in it, because people had more money, people had more resources, and they just took my dreams and ran with them. I've had that happen several times. And it makes me smile go from like, to like,
yes, you are absolutely right.
Taking your nuggets, but I can say this. One thing I've learned is that if you have been given a dream or an idea, I don't care who steals it or who, tries to duplicate it, it will never be as awesome as when you do it. Because Absolutely. It originated with you. It was your baby. Mm-hmm. They can call your baby. They can do what they want. But at the end of the day, it started with you, and it's not going to be completely awesome until it ends with you. So I love your advice, and I would just tag on the rest of that and say, make sure you can trust that person and feel them out. I always say vibe them out. Yes. Vibe them out. Because sometimes people will come alongside you, like DMX. Sorry, I'm mentioning DMX. But DMX mentioned the snake, the rat, the cat, and the dog. How are you going to see them if you're living in the fog? Yes, I used to listen to rap. So the thing is, there are snakes, cats, rats, and dogs. And sometimes you're telling your dreams to a snake, and that's not the right person. Mm-hmm. So we've got, and a rat is somebody that you'll tell your stuff to, and they take it and they ruin it. They just exploit it. They just messy. So it's like we have to also be cautious and cognizant of who we're coming alongside, because they might look like they have the best intention for us. But we have to put our feelers out, and we have to pray for discernment so that we know the true colors behind somebody. Because somebody can pretend to be your best friend and they are the biggest enemy out there, which we all have had that person, right? Yeah. So with that said, keep I tell you that advice is absolutely great. And I just put my conditional piece on it because I wanted to high five you on that and say, yes, but vibe them out. So thank you for sharing that. And I like how you said that you can learn from anyone. I thought that was very, very inspirational, and saying that, just showing up for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know, when did you start really showing up for yourself? Because that's exactly what happened, right? So talk to us about the transition of, I'm living in fear. I've got one job, one way of, of income, and I'm scared to death, to now I'm pretty solid. So talk to us about that transition of you showing up for yourself and getting that success.
I would say it was like a switch for me. I will say that it was literally like a switch for me. And I can't tell you exactly what lit that switch, because honestly, I don't even know if I know it, to the point it was literally depression. I was literally depressed. And then all of a sudden I was like, you know what? This isn't going to work. This is not going to work. Living depressed every day is not going to work. And so I started showing up for myself. And then once I saw the results of showing up for myself, I started showing up for myself more. And then it gradually grew from there. I'm so sorry.
Hey, it's okay. Everything's in the air right now, right?
That is, yep, absolutely. But yeah, it was literally like a switch. I went from being depressed to kicking myself in the butt and saying, all right, it's time to get up. It's time to get up. And I think that is what everyone has to do at some point, because there's nothing else that's going to pull you along. At some point, your friends and family aren't going to be able to carry you. At some point, that education you got isn't going to be able to carry you. At some point, even the money that you have isn't going to be able to carry you. You have to get up and put some work in. You have to actually say, well, this is where the money's going to go. You have to actually say, well, this is what I'm going to do to advance my career. You have to make a decision at some point. And for everyone, it's going to have to be a switch, because sometimes there aren't any external factors that can get us to where we need to be. It has to be within us. We have to make that decision to say, all right, I'm going to get up off my butt now and I'm going to do something. And I made that decision. I got up, and then I simply kept going, because I saw the reward from getting up. I saw the reward. Now, it took time. Of course, it took time. But when you put in that time and you put in that work, the end result is always worth it. It is always worth it.
Wow. This is powerful. This is fantastic. You are inspiring me. I just love your story. And, I just love how you've bounced back and you're so successful. This is amazing. So I'm loving your energy. I'm loving what you're saying. This is fantastic. Like I said, I'm like, man, when I saw your website, I was like, oh, I think I need to be her client. But I think this is fantastic what you're putting out here. And so, did you have a mentor, anybody in the way that helped you along your journey?
I did not have a mentor. Yes, I did not have a mentor. And I will say that is why I learned a lot of my lessons from trial and error. I did on my process and my journey of getting up. I fell down a couple more times and then had to get back up.
Right.
But no, I did not have a mentor on my journey. I have wanted a mentor, and I know that at some point I'm definitely going to need a mentor. Because mentors are certainly important. They're definitely important. At some point, you don't know what you don't know. And so you have to learn from someone else. And it's always great to be able to learn from people who came before us. So I know I'm going to need a mentor at some point, but up until now, I do have what I call my unofficial mentor. By working in the PR industry, I've luckily gotten to meet and interact with some amazing people. And there are some people that I know I can reach out to when I have a question or I need help or I just need to vent. And I can reach out to these people. So I call them my unofficial mentors. But yes, at some point, I know I am going to get me an official mentor.
Well, and just to let you know, to encourage you, your unofficial mentors are mentors, because I had an unofficial mentor who, we didn't go through registration,
Mhm.
part of a program. She just kind of showed up in my life when I was homeless in high school, right? She showed up
Right.
at the YMCA when I was doing community service, and guess what? She's been in my life ever since. So she's a mentor, and she's a solid, awesome mentor, but she was never a mentor on paper. So,
Right.
I think that the mentors that you do have, just, I would say, yeah, maybe they are. And I want to say this not just for you, but for those out there that are rock stars and they are mentoring people like yourself. Keep doing it. You might not have been officially through a process of Big Brothers, Big Sisters, or, some other organization, but you can still be a legit mentor to somebody, whether it's in the world of academia, business, entertainment, PR, church. We need more mentors in church, or more mentors in education. Those are areas of growth there. But, yeah, I think so. I think that that's great that you have those unofficial slash, whatever mentors. And so I want to ask you now too about your journey, crossing over now into the world of entertainment and PR. So what did that look like? So talk to us. I mean, your journey, it just seems to continue to blossom and blossom and develop. And I'm loving the story. I'm loving the storyline here. So talk to us about that.
Absolutely. So I started, like I said, doing PR for myself, and I am an entrepreneur and an author. So I kind of decided to stick with what I know. I was like, since this is what I've been doing, I'm going to just promote other entrepreneurs and authors. But then my name kind of got out there more, and people saw what I was doing, and more people started kind of coming to me. So my first client in entertainment, actually, I got her as a client. I simply asked her to do her publicity because she did a talk show, and I loved her talk show. And I was trying to get one of my clients on her talk show, and I fell in love with it. And I was like, can I be your publicist? And she took a chance on me. She hired me as her publicist, and we did some great things together. So much so that she even referred some people to me. So that was super, super awesome. And then I had a musician come to me, and I had never did music before. And I was like, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I've never promoted a musician before. So I'm not making any type of promises here. She's like, you know what, Dove, that's okay. I trust you. She's like, it's someone who had been interacting with me for about a year before she hired me. She's like, I've talked to you for a year now. I've seen the things that you have accomplished. I trust you. I'm going to hire you anyway. So she took me on as a client, or I took her on as a client. And then just recently, I reached out to another young man. Well, he reached out to me, and we were originally discussing a show that we were working on together. But then afterwards, he said, you know what, Dove, I've been looking for a publicist, and I was hoping that you would take me on as a client. So I took him on, and he is an actor. He's done some amazing things. He was in Insecure and The Game. He was in The Quad, Chicago Fire. So he's done some really amazing things. And before that, he was a professional athlete. So I was like, well, luckily he's not in sports anymore, because I think I'm down. I was like, there'd be just another area that I have no experience in. But I'm just grateful. Exactly. I am so grateful that these professionals in the entertainment industry did take a chance on me, because now I am truly enjoying this aspect of it. And I've got to meet some great people and do some great things. I'm currently working on an award show, the Black Media Awards, Honor Awards, happening in Atlanta, Georgia this year. And it's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Say again.
When is that going to take place?
August. I will have to get, yes, I should probably know the exact date. That's something important. But I will definitely have to get you that information. I know it's taking place in August, but it's called the Black Media Honors Awards. And I'm excited to be working on that again, because like I said, it's a new opportunity for me. And I'm glad that so many people are presenting me with the opportunity and trusting that, I can trusting me to handle their brands, trusting me to handle their careers, essentially, so that definitely makes me happy.
Well, I'm proud of you, and I'm happy that they're finding you. I'm very interested in that award event in Atlanta. You might have to send me that information. Maybe I can meet up.
Absolutely.
I would love to meet up with you, maybe during that event and maybe sooner. So,
Yeah,
but yeah, that's great that you are doing that. And so now talk to us about some of these online publications that you have been writing on. So I did some research. Like I said, I was a little nosy, y'all. And so I saw that Dove is a writer for Blavity Media Global. So talk to us about this and how that has all evolved and what you enjoy about each of them or all of it, just all together.
Well, I will say that I've always loved writing. Writing has always been something that I have enjoyed since I was younger. I've used writing to get across to a lot of people. I use writing to express my voice, but I didn't start writing publicly and professionally until 2019 as well. I mostly started as a way to promote my clients. That's when I put out my first articles, but then I loved it. I loved putting out articles. I loved, not only being able to spread my own voice and my own message, but when others came to me with a great message that deserved to be put out there, I love the fact that I was able to get it out there, because so many people have great messages that they just don't know how to get out there. And so I love being able to not only put out my own, but to put out other people's. Right. And writing has been another thing that has not only helped me to find out more about who I am and to really be able to, self-reflect, but it's been something that has helped other people. I get constant times people will reach out and say that either my articles help them by reading it, or if it's someone that I wrote about, they'll reach out and they'll say, thank you for writing about me. It really helped my career, or it really helped me tell a story that I've been wanting to tell. So writing has also become something that I am very passionate about. And these wonderful, wonderful platforms give me the opportunity, which I greatly appreciate. I thank them as well for trusting me on their platforms to be able to spread messages, especially Blavity. I probably shouldn't have a favorite. They should probably be like children, where you never admit your favorite out loud. But I will say that Blavity is like yes. It's been an amazing platform. It really talks to people. It really does focus on quality and how much they do a lot for the community, especially the Black community. So I definitely love that platform. And I love all these platforms and being able to spread messages, being able to spread anyone's message. It's a powerful tool. And I appreciate the fact that, that's the gift that God sent me, was the ability to write. It's done great things for me, but it's helped a lot of people. And I am really, really grateful that that's the gift that God gave me.
So, Rockstar Dove, I have a question for you. So, you are a rock star. I mean, you got it. You got the it factor here. So, my question is, you also have kiddos, right? Mm-hmm. And talk to us about how you've been able to manage and maintain motherhood and, family and all of the various hats that you wear. Talk to us about that for the inspired moms out there that are like, I don't know how to do this. I'm just trying to learn how to change a diaper.
Well, I will definitely say you're going to feel like that every day. That won't stop. Sorry. If you were thinking that I was going to give you a magical cure to fix motherhood, I am so, so sorry. Every single day, you're going to feel like you have no idea what you're doing. And especially if you're trying to juggle entrepreneurship on top of that, it is hard. It is very, very hard. But I would say try your best every single day. Show up for yourself. Show up for yourself in your business and show up for your family. And just keep trying. At the end of the day, when you lay down, if you know that you tried your best that day, then you're doing everything right. That means you don't need it. You don't need my advice. When you lay down at night, you know that each moment throughout the day, when you had an opportunity to do what you needed to do for your business and do what you needed to do for your family, if you took those opportunities while taking care of yourself, you're doing everything right. You kept going, and you're a step closer than you were yesterday. And keep in mind that our children love us. That is the biggest blessing that I could ever ask for, is the fact that our children love us. So in those moments when we're working and we feel guilty for not hanging out with our children, and even in those moments when we're with our children and we feel guilty for not working on our business, it's like no matter which one we do, we feel guilty for splitting our time. But the fact of the matter is that our business will forgive us for spending time with our children, and our children will forgive us for spending time with our business. We just have to keep trying every single day, and you'll continue to make progress. And at the end of the day, you're doing everything right. You're moving forward, and that's all that anyone can ever do.
Excellent advice. And how old are your little ones? Do you mind asking me?
My oldest is 5 years old. Okay. And my youngest will be 3 in August. So, yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Fun days. So, wow, this is fantabulous that you're able to do this. This is very phenomenal. And so you've given some great nuggets here on just advice. And so I want to talk to you because you said that you're an author. Do you have any books coming out or anything new?
I do. So I recently released an affirmations book. It's called 31 Days to Glow Up. It's actually now I will tell you that's a little adjustment to the name. It's actually called 31 Days to Glow the F Up, but then there's like a little asterisk in there, so I'm not cussing on the book. But it's an affirmations book for entrepreneurs, and it gives out some daily affirmations that we can use to keep going in our careers, and not only to keep going, but to reframe some of that negative thinking that we have when it comes to where we're investing, when it comes to how far our business can go, when it comes to those times where we've gone periods without customers, without clients, or when we take 5 steps forward and then get knocked 10 steps back. It's just a lot of powerful affirmations to get everyone, or those business entrepreneurs, to get you through those days when you need a little bit of help, you need a little bit of inspiration, you need a little bit of motivation. So I just published that book. And then I have in September, my memoirs coming out. Yes. So that is very, very near and dear to me. It's called My Mind's Not Broken. And it is the mental ramblings of a bipolar entrepreneur. So I am bipolar. I was diagnosed with bipolar when I was 16. And as an entrepreneur, bipolar has definitely played a part in my career, especially those days where it's hard to even get out of bed. It's hard to connect with people. It can be, for people who suffer bipolar, especially people who are bipolar and are also entrepreneurs, we feel alone. And not even just bipolar, any mental illness. When you're suffering from depression, when you're suffering from anxiety, when you're suffering from any of those mental illnesses and trying to run a business, you feel like your mental illness will hinder you. And I just want everyone to know that that is not the case, and that even with the mental illness, we don't have to see it as a barrier, as an obstacle. So actually in my autobiography, I talk about ways that I've used my mental illness to push forward. I've talked about ways that my mental illness has helped me to grow and helped me to become a better person. So I'm definitely excited about that coming out as well.
I want you to just kind of highlight that for a little bit, because I appreciate your honesty and your vulnerability and your openness to the audience, because you're keeping it real. And the whole purpose of the show is to have real talk. And so I'm going to remove India, and I'm going to let you shine for a minute and just give some nuggets of wisdom to those that might be battling mental health. I mean, we have so much going on right now in our nation and in the globe, that I think that you could give, maybe a nugget or two of wisdom to just helping people learn how to bounce out of any mental ruts that they may have. So go.
So I would say, for starters, it's okay to have days when you can't do anything. It's okay to have those days when you feel really, really down, or when it's hard for you to connect with people. It's totally okay to have those days. Just make it through the day. That's all you have to focus on. And sometimes you can break it down further than that and just make it through an hour. And just focus on meeting that end goal. But if you can't push through getting out of a mental, headspace, let's say you're stuck in a mental headspace where you're feeling depressed, where you're feeling sad, where you're feeling anxious, and you feel like you literally cannot make it out of it, you cannot break those feelings, that's okay too. That's totally okay. You're not the only person in the world. 1 in 5 people suffer from a mental illness. So I guarantee you, honestly, if you think of 5 of your friends, they've gone through something. And sometimes people hide it more, and that's okay too. You can be open about your mental illness. It can be something that maybe you want to keep to yourself. I will say you'll probably get further if you open up and share with people. But no matter what decision you make, just remember to tell yourself that it is okay. Trust the decisions that you make. Trust yourself to get better, even if you don't feel like it in that moment. If in that moment you are saying, I can't take this right now, trust yourself to know that you will get better. And if the only thing you can do is remind yourself in that moment that it won't last forever, then you have done enough to make it to the next moment. And then the next moment, you can do it again and do it again, and you can do it again. And you just keep doing it until you do get out of those funks. But just know, and I promise you, please know, we all get in those funks. We all experience those headspace. Even people who don't suffer from a mental illness on a regular basis, at one point or another, have gotten into a mental headspace funk. And it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. It doesn't mean that, if you can't get yourself out of it quickly, that there's something wrong with you, or that, that you're not doing enough. None of that is true. The biggest thing that you can ever do for yourself, especially when you're in a mental illness funk, is to be patient with yourself, be kind to yourself, and then surround yourself with people who are going to be the exact same, who are going to be patient with you and who are going to be kind to you, because that's definitely what you need. But just know that you're not alone. Just know that you're not the only person who's ever felt that way, and know that it does get better. That's definitely my advice.
Wow, that was just absolutely incredible, phenomenal, fantastic. I think that I'm ecstatic with that advice. Wow, thank you so much for pouring your heart out. You've made this show very easy for me today. I mean, I
Yeah.
had to work hard. I mean, I just brought on a rock star of the show, and you just take it over. I love it. I'm just sitting here like, wow, like you need to continue to spread that love and spread that awareness and speak to people that are battling various different mental health situations. Sometimes mental health a situation could come to you temporarily. You know what I mean? You might go through a trauma or tragedy, or, something could happen. Like, I mean, when my sister passed, I went through a depression. When my mom passed, I went through a depression. And the way I dealt with it was through drinking coffee every day, and it just staying so busy. And I didn't realize that I was dealing with that. Yes, I went through and I made sure I was okay, and got to a place of sanity. But it took also having that community and people to come alongside me to say, hey, did you deal with that, right? Have you dealt with that trauma? And so thank you so much for providing that insight, because people need to hear it. They need to hear it.
Absolutely, of course.
And so I know that, as you've dealt with, different clients as a publicist, as a producer and serial entrepreneur, I'm sure you've taken on clients also that have, dealt with mental health and things. And so what have you been able to do to help your clients as well in those areas of battling mental health and struggles?
I would say that I've been able to have conversations. And sometimes that is the best thing that you can do. is have a conversation. And I think that people should remember that too, when they need help with mental illness, that the best thing you can do is have a conversation. But then, you know what? It's equally important to remember that when you're on the other side of the spectrum. So just like I've battled with mental illness and I've had to have conversations with people who are battling with mental illness, keep that in mind when you're dealing with someone who's battling with mental illness, that if you have no idea how to help, you can start by simply having a conversation. Ask people what's going on, what's on your mind, and then go a step further and understand if they can't tell you, understand if they can't express it, even understand if maybe they just need you to be present. And start with that. So definitely be understanding to people when they're in that headspace. But just start with having a conversation, because a lot of times all we need is to talk it out. All we need is to know that somebody cares, even if it doesn't fix the problem. You don't even have to offer a solution to people. Sometimes all it takes is a conversation. And so I'm fortunate to be able to give that to my clients and to anyone who's battling mental illness, who comes to me or who simply puts it out in the open that they are. I am always an open ear. I'm always an open ear and available to have that conversation.
Well, that's absolutely beautiful. And thanks, Dove, for offering that service and just being yourself and offering that side of you. And, I love how you said, just have a conversation and just be there. And I know that is so important, especially in these days where we're so tech savvy and it's all about texting and, tweeting and just a short, quick, sweet, like there's no personal interactions really like that anymore, and it's like having that compassion and that empathy for others is everything right now, because people are hurting. People, it's almost like we're trying to say like, okay, COVID's done, like just get rid of. No, it's still here. There are people still battling things. People are still battling illnesses. People are still, dealing with the loss of loved ones from it. People are dealing with that. I mean, it happened all to us around March last year. Our lives changed. We're all still dealing with that. And sometimes going back in memory lane and saying, what was I doing this time last year, June? All of us were frantically buying toilet paper and hand sanitizer. Mm-hmm. People were getting rich off of toilet paper buying. You had to spend, I think, you could spend up to like, I think $140 for a box of toilet tissue.
That was definitely a crazy time. Definitely a crazy time.
But it was no toilet paper.
Right. And the crazy part is that wasn't that long ago. Like that was literally only a year ago.
Yeah, I remember, and I still to this day, I do not know the correlation between COVID and toilet paper.
Because there absolutely is no correlation. It was just a funny moment in U.S. history that's definitely going to go down in books. Yes. The moment that Americans went and bought out toilet paper because of a global pandemic. There is absolutely no correlation except to laugh at it now a year later. That was the purpose of what that was in history, to add a little humor to the COVID pandemic.
People were posting pictures. Got my stash, 20 rolls of toilet paper. I mean, like, we've come a long way. We've come a long way as a nation. So, absolutely. I mean, it was a very serious time, but it's like, I'm glad we could find at least a little laughter in that part of it. I mean, a lot of it was tragic, but I do remember the toilet paper thing just kind of took me. And I remember reading a story about a man that stocked up on hand sanitizer. He bought several thousands of dollars worth of hand sanitizer thinking that he was going to be able to sell it online, and they stopped him. So he had like, it was almost like a truck, like a trailer truck of hand sanitizer all for himself. So I thought that was very interesting. So very interesting stories. And so with that said, I'm just so grateful for people like yourself that have bounced back, even in times of COVID and times of struggle. And you are now offering advice to people, that, are looking for people like yourself. People are looking up to you, and I'm glad that, you realize that and that you're like, okay, I can give this, part of myself. So you, like I said, you've made the show very simple because you've just done a lot of incredible work. And so I want to say thank you again. And you, because of that also, I saw that you also have been named Small Businesswoman of the Year and Top Entrepreneur to Follow. So tell us about the nominations and all of this great stuff here.
So I would say it was definitely surprising both times. It always surprises me every time anyone, even if it's just a text message or email, anytime anyone acknowledges anything that I've done, I get humble. I'm like, I appreciate the fact that you noticed. But I would say to be named Top Entrepreneur to Follow was definitely an honor. Because not only did I not see it coming, but it really showed me that maybe I am doing so that was about a year and a half ago that I was named Top Entrepreneur to Follow. And it was when I was still in the beginning stages of my career. I had been promoting myself, but I had just started promoting clients. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I should keep going. Maybe I'm going in the right direction. And I will say that every single time I earn an accomplishment, to me, it's just kind of an arrow saying you're going in the right direction. Just keep going. So I definitely appreciate it. Anytime a publication or an organization reaches out to honor anything that I've done, it's an honor. It really is an honor that I humbly appreciate from the bottom of my heart. And it's a reminder that there are people watching and I just have to keep going.
Excellent. I love it. And I wish you so many more.
Thank you.
I just love your energy. I love how you've bounced back from nothing to now just rock starring it out, girlfriend. So kudos to you. And I really do hope that we'll stay connected even after the show. I'm looking forward to that. And so with that said, Dove, how can people contact you after the show if they're wanting to kind of join alongside you, or they want you to take them on as a client or whatever? What advice do you have to give them?
Well, I would say I love it when people connect with me. I absolutely love it. I am very reachable. My email address, my phone number, my website, everything lists all of my contact information. So you can find my website is www.dovebennett.com. You can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/DoveBennettPR. You can find me on Instagram at Instagram.com/DovePR. You can find me on Twitter at Twitter.com/Dove_Bennett. You can find me on YouTube at YouTube.com/C/DoveBennett. And so I'm definitely out there and I love connecting with people. So I definitely say, if you want to connect, if you have a question, any of that, feel free to reach out on any means, any of my contact means, and I would love to connect with you. I'd love to, even if you want to work with me, if you want to collaborate, or literally if you just have a question, I am here and you can reach out to me on any of those platforms.
Thank you so much for sharing this stuff. And again, guys, make sure you're visiting her website for all of that fabulous information. www.dove, that's DOVE, Bennett, that's BENNETT.com. I know this will be on the radio, so I'm making sure I'm enunciating this so you can get all of the details.
Thank you.
So with that said, guys, please make sure that you're visiting Dove's page. Make sure that you check out her book, 31 Days to Glow the F Up. Make sure you stay tuned in September to get her memoir, on her autobiography, which is fantabulous. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You know, if you want to reach out to her for any work that she's doing as a publicist or beyond, give her a ring, give her a call, visit her on her social media pages that she has highlighted. Again, her Facebook is www.facebook.com/DOVEBENNETT, the letter P as in pie, the letter R as in Robert. Or you can do www.instagram.com/DovePR again. Okay, so these are her contact information. And Dove, do you have any last nuggets of wisdom that you would like to share with our audience tonight?
I would say just the same thing that I've been saying and what I tell everyone. Just keep going. Just keep going. It's literally the best thing you can do for yourself, is to just keep going. Even when you don't know what you're doing, if you don't know it's going to pay off, it never hurts you to take a step forward. So keep taking steps. The only thing that's going to hurt you is if you stand still or start going backwards. So when you're in doubt, when you're struggling, when you don't know what you're doing, when you do know what you're doing, no matter how you're feeling, just keep taking those steps forward. And Dr. Indy, I definitely want to thank you for having me on your platform and allowing us to have this it's been a wonderful conversation and speaking with your audience. So I definitely want to thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much, Dove. It has been a delight. It really has been. I've had several people on the show, and this has definitely been a refreshing, uplifting delight. And I love your energy. I just have to tell you that. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know if you're working out in the morning or I don't know what you're doing. I don't know if you had coffee before you came on. I don't know what you're doing, but you're doing something right. So keep that up. I just love your energy. Like
Thank you.
So thank you so much for being on the show. And for you guys that, you know, have been my fantabulous fans and you've been in my tribe, thank you for tuning in again tonight. And again, this weekend is your girl's birthday. Okay, so make sure that you're celebrating this Saturday, June 5th. Send me birthday love, okay? It's the best day in the world to me. So, and make sure you're checking out again the show. A show's going to be aired again. Thank you, Ken. Thank you, Tribe. Okay, it's going to be aired on www.soulnetwkdh.com. Make sure you're tuning in there. Watch the show there. If you're wanting to be featured on my show, make sure that you're sending me an email, photo, and biography to india.white.123@gmail.com. Make sure you're following me on social media. Okay, I'm getting a little lonely out there. I need you guys to come and hit me up. Okay, you got Facebook is Miss India White, LinkedIn, The India White, Twitter, Indie Speak and Teach, Instagram, Indie238, and YouTube, India White 123. I tried to get them all the same, but there's another India White out there. She's actually a realtor. She stole all my links. But anyway, and then you've got Real Talk Show will be featured on Swain Girl Media Channel. Okay, thank you, Precious, for this fantabulous opportunity. You can see it on Fire Stick and check out my website. Thank you, website team. Y'all are amazing. So with that said, you guys, it has been a fantastic show. Thank you for checking out again the Real Talk Show with Dr. India White. And make sure you're, checking me out and checking out Dove Bennett. I'm putting her contact information up again so that you guys can go there. You guys have a lot of stuff to check out tonight. So make sure you're hitting us up, okay? And so with that said, Dove, thank you so much for this fantastic opportunity and well done. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's been an honor to be here. And I want to thank everyone for watching and listening.
Yes. You guys have a great night. Until next time. See ya.
Good night.
Good night.